Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. We have Mimo Adebi in the studio this morning. How you doing, Good morning. How are you
Good
doing
morning.
today?
I'm better. I'm fine.
The road harassed you this morning too?
For real. The road partially, but my car had just tripped off. I didn't know what was going on. So I had,
How did you survive?
I had to get a battery or whatever. Who told me the battery had it? We were able to fix it.
And then you got it. But last week we talked about how children and we talked about how children who are abused in religious houses get to keep these things to themselves. And we promise the people that we will tell them what to do when they get this kind of a situation. Let's talk about it.
No parent wants to think of their child being sexually abused.
Violated.
Yes. Nobody wants to think.
Imagine it.
And then when it happens, nobody wants to come to terms with it. So usually we say that the parent or the family or the guardian of the survivor lives in denial and says, no, this is not happening. Then they come down with multiple feelings. Okay, they deal with different reactions, and that leads to the steps they take, either wrongly or in the right direction. So, but we like to say that there is no wrong or right feeling because nobody prepares for it, especially when it's happening right under your nose. Okay, done to the child by someone you know. Okay, so, but when we say it happens, life happens, it's part of things that happen. So what do you do? Okay?
When life happens.
When it happens, what do you do? Okay, the first thing is we say to parents, don't live in denial. It has happened.
Don't say God forbid.
Don't say, I'm not hearing you, go, 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 go. You know, it has happened. And most times, parents get to know, children don't get to tell. All right, and that's why we advocate, let parents work with children in such a way that they will be free to tell you anything and everything. So, first thing you do is you tell your child, I believe in you. It was not your fault. Because most times we live in a situation, you know, around here where we readily throw blames.
Can it ever be the fault of the child?
Never the fault of the child. Even when never the fault, because once you're dealing with a child deserves to be protected. And for the benefit of those who are watching, who exactly is a child under the law? Anyone below 18, below the age of 18. And you're seeing 16, 15 who looks all 25. So the truth is, whether the child was all endowed, flaunting, not well dressed, or male, female, the child does not deserve to be abused. So it is never the child's fault. All right, and you also discover that children in that category who are loosely dressed, also it's not their fault. If the foundation is destroyed, what can even the government do? So I say that it's never the child. So believe your child when it happens, and believe the situation happened. Because a lot of times we try to trivialize it, what to do. Believe it happened. Now, thank the child, okay, for telling me that. If the child tells you,
thank you for telling me about
thank
this.
the person who opened it up to you. All right, and also thank yourself that you are getting to know about it. Because a lot of children have been violated without the parents are not aware, and they come down with all manners of behavioral issues, and they end up spiritualizing everything. Okay, so I said, believe, don't blame, and don't beat. Please don't beat the child, because I have a case I'm going to be dealing with today. She discovered something about her child, and the next thing is she started beating. And someone said, let me give you Auntie Webby's phone number. I don't know how to talk to her. Stop beating. Don't beat that child. Yeah, because if the child knew better, the child would have probably responded better to the abuser. And, a lot of things happen. Then I say, reassure the child that it wasn't the child's fault. We've talked about that. Then take the step of talking to a professional. This, when your child is violated, whether by a religious leader or someone someone you don't know, you need a professional. It's not something you handle at family level. It's not something you begin to hold family meeting over, especially if the violator is in the family. Okay, the
so if the violator is in the family, so you can't even take
you can't.
it to that
Why?
level.
Because they are going to kill it, and the child will end up becoming the scapegoat. Yes.
But
So
then, we have one Yoruba that says, "Akiti kofude kashore."
yeah. Now, how about in a situation where the perpetrator is the father? Who do you pick? Most
So you're saying they should
parents.
not go to-
No, I'm not saying.
I'm just saying. It's the Yoruba.
Most
Yoruba
women end
adage
up
now.
teaming up with their spouses, the perpetrator against the child. Now, I
So
want
they
to say,
victimize the child is already a
victimize
victim.
the
They
child,
now
yeah.
victimize the
Victimize
child.
the
I want to
child.
say that when a child reports or you got and you do not believe, is a form of victimization, which means you are teaming up against the child. What we say is when it comes to child protection, whatever a child says, believe but verify. Don't throw it away altogether. Don't shun the child or start to cite other
But do children lie?
examples.
Do children lie about these things?
One thing is, if a child says 5 things, 1 out of the 5 things will happen to be true. And in psychology, there is a way a child pictures things, imagines it, and brings it down. It happened, but it may not be in the exact way. But
That
don't
he said it.
throw it all together in the trash. Look into it, verify, reassure the child. All right, and that's why a lot of parents or families are not equipped to do this. So we say you can't do this alone. Go talk to a professional. Tell them my child said this, or I discovered this, or this is what has happened, or this is what has been happening.
Where can they find these professionals? Anti-women? Does the government have
The
places?
government, if you're in Lagos State, the domestic sexual violence response team, the numbers are there. You carry a smartphone. Yes, you can call them and they'll come to your aid, or you talk to a counselor, all right? Or you go to the police. There's a gender unit, the violence unit of, in every police station in Nigeria.
Let me say something funny. You said there is a violence unit, police. You take it to
Yes.
the police. So, how about a father who violated the daughter?
Okay.
And when you get to the police station, they will say, "Madam, na family matter go settle am. You go carry your papa to court." Things like that.
That's why you also, I'm still going somewhere.
Mhm.
Okay, the gender unit is there. Make sure you get a lawyer, a legal practitioner who knows what the law says, especially a trauma, somebody who knows how to defend issues like this. And also, okay, I'll say that you also need to go to the hospital to check the child, especially if it has just happened, or even if it's something that's been going on. There was a case we handled and we discovered that this child looks little, but underneath he looks more than little. Why? Because somebody has been passing through a tunnel that is not meant to be, tolerated. Yeah, so we need to understand that when you go to the hospital for further investigations, they will check for STDs, they will check for all manners of things. And if it's a rape issue and it's just happening, they have some medications they give to prevent some things from escalating before. But you must always have the doctor's report to back up whatever claim you are coming up with. Now, I'll say that even before you go to the police, or while you intend to do that, go to the hospital first. If you are in Lagos State, Mirabel Center is a very,
That's LASUT.
is a very,
That's the Lagos
very,
State Teaching Hospital,
any
Ikeja.
report that comes out from there, the government reckons with it.
And the cops
Yes,
reckons
with
it as well.
it. So don't stay quiet, don't stay silent, and don't loud it into the ears of your neighbor. Okay?
And then
Because
add other people to
and
the
then
circle, victimize
don't
the
ask
child.
your child too many questions. You can't do, because you're going to be doing it from an emotional zone. And when the child tells you something, you might snap and slap. Why didn't you? Okay, and the moment you do that, you have cut the child off, and that's the least you would know. That's all the child will tell you. So professionals, trauma counselor, therapist, legal advisor,
Hospital.
the hospital and all,
police.
they come together. And you as the parent of the child, you also need some form of therapy, because it's a huge trauma on you.
We need to take this topic again, a part 2 next week,
Yes.
because quite a number of people are suffering in silence and keeping quiet. But thank you so much, Auntie Winnie, for being here this morning and suffering through the traffic to be here. Make sure I did say will be joining us. She's right here in the studio. Let's talk music.